Good morning. This is how I wake up every morning. I have skin like this, and I have a clogged nose like this, and my eyes are puffy and swollen like this. You want to know why? Here's the truth. I'm allergic to cats, and I have two of them. And one of the cats sleeps literally on my head every night. So I wake up and I can't breathe. And after I leave the house for a couple hours, I'm fine. So you're just going to have to put up with my stuffy, clogged up nose and my puffy face. But I have to put my makeup on like this every day. So you're going to see how I transform this to glamorous. You guys want to get rid of those fine lines really quick? You need to moisturize. I used just a generic moisturizer, and I add in the Uplift Eye Serum, about 2 to 3 drops. And that's also why you see those results on those pictures turn out so well sometimes, is because mostly people's faces are dehydrated. And when you start hydrating your face on a regular basis, those fine lines that were there will disappear, because those lines weren't necessarily wrinkles. They were there because you weren't taking care of your skin, okay? So take care of your skin, ladies, so that you can get rid of some of those fine lines that aren't really necessary. So moisturize every day. So this is how I start, and then I go right into putting my primer on, okay? This makes your skin very silky. It gives a nice smooth layer so that your makeup sits kind of on top of your skin instead of in your pores and those fine lines and wrinkles, okay? So this just gives a nice smooth canvas to work with so that your makeup doesn't settle into your skin, okay? So your skin feels nice and silky and you're ready to get on. I go to the BB cream. For me, my skin is really dry, so all this added extra moisture is really great for me throughout the day. As you can tell, I haven't used any fancy tools yet. I used my hands to put on the serum, to put on the primer, to put on the BB cream. So, you know, for most of the application, you can use your hands. I'd say, however, for the next part, you really don't want to use your hands to put on the foundation. It's just not going to go on right. It's not going to go on smooth. You're going to have, you know, an uneven application. So for me, I like to use the brush, or I dampen a sponge to blend it in my skin. This foundation is literally the best foundation I have ever had experience with. And I've used a wide variety of foundation, usually at the high-end makeup stores like Sephora and Ulta. I've used the Benefit Hello Flawless, and I've used the Bare Minerals foundation. Nothing has given me coverage the way this does. And nothing has given me coverage that lasts the way this does. So this is a liquid foundation that I really feel good about using. And I'm very happy with the results. And if you guys have seen any of my videos, you guys have seen this face transform many times over. And I always use the liquid foundation. Okay, I'm starting to look more awake, ladies. What is next? For me, I want to go onto my brows because I want to let my foundation kind of dry and set for a minute or two. So I'm going to go onto my eyes here. And as you may have seen, these pencils are miracle workers. They go on so easy. I use the medium. In my opinion, I could probably pull off the dark as well. But you really just follow your natural hairline. Kind of fill in all those little holes you have in your eyebrows. really just makes such a difference. I mean, look how wide my eyes look. I look awake now. And, you know, this looks like it's a hot mess over here. So let's fix this hot mess train. I am not leaving the station looking like this. Sometimes I backstroke to kind of fill in any gaps that are in my eyebrows. Now I'm just going to buff it out so you have a nice gradient look, so they don't look like one unibrow, but so that the front kind of looks airbrushed and smooth. I'm cheating with a mirror here. You can kind of see my eyes glance over. It's hard to do your makeup in the phone sometimes. Okay, and then the next thing you want to do is kind of set it in place. So you use the gel. So to set your eyebrows in place, you're going to use the brow gel so that they stay all day. I kind of do a backstroke to get all the little fibers to attach to my brow, and then I just airbrush it back. This is how we get to flawless. I mean, so many of us neglect this part of our makeup routine, but I would say that this is one of those steps you really don't want to leave out. If you're going to skip something, skip your eyeshadow, skip your lip color, but I would say do your brows, ladies. Okay, I just got this eye primer and I am really thrilled to use it. It's very different than the Glorious Face and Eye Primer. It's a very different texture. It's a skin tone color, but I'm kind of excited to see how this works. So this is my first time using this. I really do like how it's a neutral tone so that it gets your eyelid kind of looking uniform and all one color. So you can start with a flawless canvas, okay? I really like that. The texture is creamy, but a little bit, the texture is kind of tacky, which is nice, so you want your eyeshadow to kind of stick to it, and it'll give you a nice, bright, true color. So I'm doing a neutral, somewhat neutral eye look today. I have 3 different splurge cream shadows that I'm going to try to mix together here. So this is Extravagant, this is Tenacious, and this is Elegant. Alright, so I'm going to kind of play with this to see what kind of fun look I can get today. So I'm going to use my cream shadow brush, which is like a flat bristled brush. It looks kind of like this. And I'm going to start with the Tenacious, which is the darker of the brown colors. And I'm going to start over here in my corner and kind of buff that into place. Now you guys know me, I could just like to start off messy. We can fix anything later. And most of these cream shadows are great because they all blend into each other. So you don't really have to be perfect about it. So let's get this side going. And I always forget, like, a little bit goes such a long way, and this brush picks up a lot of pigment and it transfers it well. So that's kind of the key to having a good brush. It picks up the product and it transfers it. It doesn't just pick it up and keep it on here so that you're constantly having to wipe for more and more product. You want a brush that transfers the color, okay? So you're not wasting your product. That also helps give longevity to your product. So if you guys aren't using good brushes, even though you might have a really good quality eyeshadow, you're wasting so much product because you're not getting good transfer off the brush. So that's my tip on using brushes. Now I have a table next to me and I cover it with a towel, and I just use that and wipe my brushes off as I go, so I can easily use the same brush for all three of these colors, because I just wipe it off on the brush and then I'm on to my next color. So this is Tenacious. I think so. Nope, Extravagant. I just did Tenacious. So this is kind of that bright gold color. And I'm kind of going for like the middle of my lid being bright and shimmery and shiny. Draw attention to my eye at the center of my eye here, so that it widens my eye. It looks brighter, more awake, which I definitely need with these bags. And my sinuses clogged. Okay. So we've got Tenacious, we've got Extravagant, and then I'm going next with Elegant. And I think that really might top off my look here. So I'm going to highlight my brow bone here. And you see how well these colors just blend together. It's so effortless. One goes into another, everything transitions together really nicely. So there's no fussing about blending really that much. Your brush really does all the work for you and you are ready to go. Okay, I just touched up my colors a little bit because it's hard to do your makeup in the phone, ladies. It's difficult. So I touched up some of the colors, kind of brought out a little more vibrancy with my colors. And now I'm just going to kind of sharpen up this edge here and also conceal some of this darkness that I have under my eye. So I'm going to use the Skin Perfecting Touch Mineral Concealer, which is a liquid. And I just put a little bit on my brush here. Okay, I mean the tiniest little dot. Look at all this product that you get. And this is how much you need to use. Stuff is going to last you. This is also a way to highlight your face. And boom, we've got a nice, beautiful edge to our shadow. See? It's fun to be messy with makeup because you can just fix it later. Now, how much more bright and awake does this side of my face look? I mean, it's such a difference. I literally do not like leaving the house without this, especially in the morning when I look like this dead person over here. So, a little bit more, and the other side. Okay, to brighten up my face just a little bit more, I'm going to use my concealer. Whoop! To do that. So I'm just going to put another little dot on here, and I'm going to put it up here on the top of my lip. I already came down my nose. Sorry guys, I cheated already. And then just on the front of my chin here, okay? Now for me, I actually have my concealer in the same color as my foundation. So you can go up or to one shade lighter in your concealer, but I really do feel like the organza concealer is light enough to go on top of the organza foundation. So for me, it really works for my skin tone. But if you wanted just a brighter look, you can go up a color. So if I were to go up a color, I would get Scarlet in the foundation to use that as a brightener. But I really do think it works in the same color for me. So, okay guys, next is a little bit of contouring, which for me, I'm just going to do it the easy peasy way today. And the easy peasy way is to use the bronzer. you get a brush and you go to town. Okay, so I'm just gonna go here in my cheek, in my lower cheek area. Same thing on the other side. It's a little bit lower where your blush would be. So then you just kind of get close to the hairline here and or on the hairline and just bring some shading to your face here. You can be a little heavier around your temples. And then depending on the size of your forehead, if you want to make it smaller, come down toward the middle of your forehead. So I'm going to go darker a little bit on the sides here. And you can see I'm just kind of patting, buffing it in. I'm not like swiping it. I want to keep my foundation in place, so I don't want to mess that up. This has also kind of helped setting my foundation. Okay. And then I'm just going to come under the jawline here. Hide that double chin. This is the secret, ladies. It's hard to lose those final 10 pounds. It's the story of my life. And this is the way I just do it overnight. Hide my neck, contour, and call it a day. So to get into your nose here and your lip, you're going to want to use a different brush. So I use something that has like edges to it. So I'm going to get it on both edges. Then I'm just going to kind of tap it here. So you see I just get one little line. You don't want to do the whole nose area because then you're going to make your nose look wider. You just want to come down the sides here, right in the dip of your Cupid's bow. And I go under my lip here to make my lip a little more plump looking. You could also come down the side here to bring focus to your chin area. Okay. See how that kind of brings light right here to my face. Also makes me look a little thinner, which is nice. So then we just blend that in. I'm getting kind of all the excess off my brush by wiping it off on my neck. I'm blending my neck a little bit more. Blend that in. Blend that in. Okay, blend, 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 ladies. You don't want to look silly now. Okay. Now you can kind of really see the contouring coming to life. My eyes really standing out. So I'm going to do a different technique that I just learned, which is I bought this Bill Nye neutral setting powder. Only because I don't have the pressed powder yet. It's actually on its way to my house and it'll be here in a couple days. Until then, I am going to bake my face. So I have this like light fluffy brush. And I'm just going to put that here under my concealer. Okay. This is going to help keep my makeup in place. It also keeps oil under control. Keeps the shine from coming on your face throughout the day. Okay, ladies, I mean, look at this glow. My skin just went from puffy with big dark circles to bright, young, fresh. Look at that. Time for some blush. Okay, for blush, I know some of you guys think it is not necessary, but to clearly define those cheekbones, also kind of bring out that contouring, blush really is important. Now, when I have a eye that looks like this, I just want to keep my cheeks really neutral. I don't need to, you know, make them really perky. So the color Sweet, it's so neutral. You don't need a ton. Remember, one little tap or one little swatch on this and you've got plenty of blush for your whole face. So I'm just going to blend that in. And I'm going above my contour area.
but it also helps kind of blend the contour area. And it's easy. It makes my face look more defined. My cheeks even look a little less full, okay? Looks like I have cheekbones now. And that's what we want. We want to look sleek and sexy. Or sweet. Whatever you're going for. Okay, so my concealer is set. I really am just missing some highlight here. Now, I kind of do different things at different times, and right now I am liking this. I got this in my Ipsy bag. It's this NYX. It's called Girl Talk. It is just this like shimmery pink color, so I just kind of put it on my skin, and then I just bring that right here above where I put the blush. You can come down on your nose, on top of your lip, on your chin here, maybe a little bit right here. The thing about this product, it doesn't transfer off my finger very well, so I'm constantly having to swipe and wipe, swipe and wipe. It's just not a high quality product, so it's not going to transfer onto my skin. You would think like this would be super, super shimmery, but you can tell it's just adding a little bit of extra light to my face. It's nothing too crazy, because it's not really transferring very well. But that's okay, I don't need it to be crazy. Okay, ladies. Now it's time to smoke out the bottom part of my eyelids. So I'm going to use Proper. I'm going to come down here, and then come down here. I'm just going halfway. We're going to finish it off with a brightening color. I'm going to use my liner shader brush and just kind of buff that out. You have about 30 seconds before this sets in. And dries and stays in place the rest of the day. See how just swiping that with a brush kind of just makes it look more airbrushed? And then to bring a little more light to the corner of our eyes, we're going to use this color in Precious, okay? It's this beautiful gold color. It goes very well with Extravagant. Extravagant is this gold color here. When I first started buying the pencils, I thought this was a yellow pencil, and I was like, what in the heck am I going to do with a yellow pencil? But then when I opened it and swatched it and saw how beautiful that is, I mean, it's just this light gold shimmer. I was like, oh my gosh, it is perfect. And it is perfect right for the corner of the eyes, especially. You can also use this to bring some light to your lips, so instead of using the white, you can kind of highlight with the gold. So with my lips like this, I really just want to do something very neutral. So I'm going to top it off with our Luxe. Our Luxe lip gloss is literally the perfect nude. So if you're going for a nude lip, this is the color that you want. Now see how I added that gold on my lip, and it just brings the light in the perfect areas. So my lip is highlighted, it's bringing light here, everything is drawn into the center of my face, and my eyes have a lot of focus with the colors that I brought to them. So finish it off with some 3D mascara, ladies, and you are ready for your day. Be glamorous.